Hello everybody, my name's Alison and I am a chair-based exercise instructor and Pilates instructor, and I've been doing chair-based exercise for 12 years now, and I'm super keen. Why should the lack of the ability to stand up be a limitation to exercise? We all need to move, we need to move more, and there's some great, fabulous ways to do it while in a chair, so I hope you enjoy my ideas. Hello everyone, this is my first clip for your backyard, and I'm going to do some work on just how you sit and align yourself and some work to get your spine moving. But before I start, I know it might sound a bit daft, but I just want to talk about how you would sit in a chair to do a little bit of chair-based movement and exercise. So the first thing is, ideally, you'd have a chair like this, a kitchen chair or a dining room chair or a wheelchair. And if you're in a bit of a comfier chair, that's fine too, but have some support at the back. You want to be able to have your feet comfortably on the floor, and if you can't quite manage that, use a couple of books. I've got these are yoga bricks because I just bring them around with me. So something like this, if you can't quite get your feet on the floor, it's really, really important. So you would just have them like that, but I'm all right on my chair at the moment. Now the other thing is you want to be able to sit up reasonably tall. So if you find maybe you're a little bit curved back in the chair, then it might be that your trusty books are better there, and that might give you a little bit of lift and a little bit of support. So maybe have a play with this. And one last thing, these are my other props that I brought with you. You need to have support in your back. So you can sit yourself right back in the chair, that's completely fine, or you can use cushions to support you. So that's how you would sit in the chair. And now I want to talk about alignment. Okay, so how is the most ideal way that you'd sit in a chair? Well, let me say first, I know we don't all sit really properly in a chair. Even I don't, and I should know better. But some of the time, it's a really good idea to sit really tall and really well. So I'm going to go from the bottom up, if I may. You want your feet in front of you and your knees kind of bent. And your legs are like the guy ropes of a tent. They're supporting you a little bit. So just feel your feet in the floor, and your legs are holding you up, but don't be too tense in the front of the thighs there. Okay, I'm going to have to give you one tiny little bit of anatomy. Don't panic, it's the only thing I'm going to say, but there's some bones in your bottom known as the sit bones. Okay, so in me, if I put my hand on my bottom, you're going to be thinking, really? Do I really have to do this? Yeah, ideally, get your hands in and feel those bones. It's the only anatomy, I promise, it doesn't get any worse. But it's really important, these are your sit bones, and you really, when you're sitting, you should be sitting on them. It's better for your back, and it's better for your digestion, it's better for your breathing because you get a little bit more length in the spine. So even if it's only for these clips, try and sit on these sit bones, and if you can't manage it, try raising your chair up with blocks or cushions, and you know what, that can often make all the difference. So you're sitting on your sit bones, and then just have some length in the spine, sit tall. Just imagine that you're wearing the crown jewels, so you would have to be long and regal and elegant. So that's the legs and your spine and your length. And one last thing with alignment, I want you to think about a bit of width. I want you to widen your collarbones and also widen a little through your shoulder blades. Head as best you can on top of your body, hands wherever on your lap or maybe beside you. And then just now simply breathe. You've got a bit more length, so there's more space for you to breathe. You don't have to breathe in a special way, just breathe. Relax the features of your face. And one last thing, there's always one last thing. I'm terrible for this, but really mean it. One last thing, allow your shoulder blades to relax down your back. And there is your seated alignment. So the second half of this segment is a couple of little exercises to get the spine moving more. So the first thing is, I want to come back to the sit bones, okay? I'm actually better if I sit on the chair, okay, and stay with me here, okay? I want you to rock from one sit bone to the other. And you know what? It just wakes up the body. Be aware that rather than moving with your ribs side to side like that, you actually lift your entire bottom cheek off the floor. And now I've said bottom cheek in public. Forgive me. And just have a little lean. So you're not leaning from the ribs, you're leaning from your bottom. What? Yeah. And it just wakes up the pelvis, this thing here, and the spine. Let's just do a few more. Don't worry if you don't get as much height as me. You might just get a little bit of lift, that's fine. It's like you're a fidgety child. 4. Oh, by the way, don't hold your breath. Bet you are though. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, the next thing is I'm going to turn around sideways so you can see me, but it's also moving this thing, the pelvis and your lower back. So I'm going to turn around, and then I want you to allow your lower back to curve back and sit up, and then allow your lower back to curve forward. Now this is a little gentle movement to move your lower back, okay? So you're curving back, think of it as slouching. And then you're sitting back up on your sit bones, and then you're curving forward. So it's a pelvic tilt. Please be aware that you're not leaning back like an old-fashioned speedometer, like that. Please don't do that. That's a different thing. I want you to allow your lower back to curve, and you might even feel your tummy moving a little bit, working, because it is. And then you're going to allow your tummy to come forward and your lower back arches. Again, please don't hold your breath, even though it's tempting because you forget. And we'll just do one more. Again, you might not have as much movement as me, because I've been at this years, but it doesn't matter. Just a little bit of movement's better than none. Okay, and stop. So you're back on those sit bones, and we're still working with a bit of movement for the spine. So the next thing is some spine rotation. So put your hands like the genie of the lamp, relax your shoulders, and turn your rib cage and your upper body from side to side. This, do you know what? This is probably the most important one of all, you know. So just, if it helps, close your eyes, because sometimes if the room turns, it's a little bit off-putting. So close your eyes, allow your shoulders to relax, and breathe as you turn one way and then the other. Your legs aren't going to move. And you know, even though it might feel like it is, your bottom's not moving. It's your upper back and your rib cage. So within reason, turn as far as you think you can, and we're going to carry on. But do you know what, if you feel a little bit like this, a bit too much on your shoulders, this position, so you maybe put your hands here or even down here and rotate. So some of you might find that's a bit easier. It's not so much effort through your shoulders. Okay, and stop. Alrighty, and we have got just one more thing for your spine, and that is side bending. Well, 1.5. Anyway, the main one is side bending. So I'd like you to have your arms by your sides and curve up and over through your ribs. Again, the world kind of turns upside down when you turn because of your eyes. So you maybe just want to do this with your eyes shut. I'm going to keep my eyes open because it's easier to teach, but maybe close your eyes. And you want to be lifting up and out of your rib cage like the fountain of water at, I don't know, Castle Howard or somewhere. You're coming up and over and you're breathing. Your arms are going to reach. Now, you don't want to be feeling pain with any of these exercises. So please do stop if you have some anxieties that something's painful, but be aware you are going to get some sensations just as you have a little bit of a pull in your muscles. Let's do one more on either side with breathing and everything. Up and over and stop. Now then, if you're feeling adventurous, I'm going to give you a little bit more of an advanced move for your spine. So if you think like you've done enough on your spine, sit this next one out. We're going to reverse curl or back bend the spine a little tiny bit. Put your fingertips on the back of your head to support your head. And send this thing, your breastbone, your sternum, so up towards the ceiling. And the eyes will go to the ceiling as well and come back. It's a very, very useful move, but do be careful. So you're sending the sternum and your neck and your chin and your eyes up, and then you're coming down again. If you feel it's annoying and hurting your back there a little bit, I wouldn't do it. It maybe not the right exercise for you, but alternatively, some of you may find that's a helpful thing for your spine. Put your hands, make sure your hands, if you can reach them, are on your head, not your neck, because it supports the weight of the head as you come back and up. So do your best. I know it's not easy to put your hands there, is it? But do your best to get that support, and we'll just do 2 more of those. Sternum, your breastbone and your eyes to the ceiling, come back. 1 more. And stop. And then that, just to complete this segment, just a quick reminder that ideally you're sitting tall with your metaphorical crown jewels on your head, your shoulders relaxed, and still nice deep breaths.